Also 57, Austria 1, Carina Portugal, followed by Sweden 3, and 15, India, Austria. Det ser ut som du forsøker å dykke litt her ved plassen.
Hello and welcome to the live orienteering coverage of the 2018 World Cup Round 3 coming from Østfold in Norway. I'm Catherine Bett and my expert today is Jonas Mertz, and we are bringing you a couple of hours, first of the women's and then the men's relay races today. We're in the same arena that we've been in the last couple of days, and the athletes are very familiar with that at the moment. So the women have begun their races. In fact, we've had the first leg handover already. So we'll bring you some of the highlights of that before we bring you some more of the live coverage of the second and third legs of the women's. We're in this beautiful part of Norway where we'll see the World Championships this time next year. So as well as the World Cup round, it is of course a chance for the runners to get a feel for what the World Championships racing will be like next year. But it's a pretty beautiful day this morning here in the arena. Early in the morning, 13 degrees, not too much wind. Pretty good running conditions, if you ask me, for this relay. And we've had some spectator races around here, so a few spectators to watch what will hopefully be an exciting relay today. So 5.4 kilometers we're looking at, and an estimated winning time for each leg, 36 minutes, and of course 3 women per relay team.
And let's take a look at the map. We have the same arena as we had yesterday and the day before, and we start into quite a nice area. It's you start into this slope directly with the forking there, and here again it's quite open and good visibility. But now we start to get into a part. This is the first TV control. We start to get into a part here. It is quite bad visibility, tricky with the forking, so I expect them to do some mistakes there if we will see any at all. Back to control 6 and to the arena passage after like 2/3 of the race, and then we go out for a second loop up into this cutting area where they have been yesterday also, but they have just been running over it in that race. And control 11 again, 11, a TV control, and then back to the finish.
Yeah, so that's how the course looks, and quite a lot of forking.
Yeah, it's really many forkings here. Almost all of the common controls are TV controls. I think it will be an interesting race because especially in the beginning, in this more dense area, it's very flat. If you're a bit passive in your orienteering, it can cause you a lot of problems.
And then the second leap looks to be quite physical.
Yeah, it's physical. You have to climb up again. It's a cutting area. You have to. There are many fallen trees and wood on the ground. It's not very nice. It's physically tough there, just in that part. And of course, you start to be tired after the first part of the race.
So just looking down at the start list now, we've got multiple teams per nation. Switzerland start with number 51, but we should say, even though they're the world champions, they're not quite maybe running their A team today.
We have 2 absences. Both Judith Wider and Elena Roos are not in the team. Elena Roos is injured, and Judith Wider, she traveled back on Thursday already.
And then, of course, you've got some mixed teams further down. But so these are all pictures that occurred earlier on today. Switzerland won Julia Jakob to lead them off. Silje Krøljaren will take it out for Norway 1 with Marianne Andersen and Camilla Olassen. Second and third legs. Lina Strand will lead out the first Swedish team. There are 3 Swedish teams running today. Amanda Falkweber will get it going for Denmark. And Anastasia Rudnaya will lead out the Norwegian team, bronze medalist yesterday. And used to running in a small group there. And Teresa Janisikova will lead out the team for the Czech Republic. The women's relay has been running for about 50 minutes so far, but these are some of the highlights from earlier. We know you'll be looking at the GPS tracking and be seeing the women are halfway through, coming up to halfway through on the second leg.
Good luck. 5.3 kilometers recovery in 20 seconds to start.
Completing the top 10 teams on the start. Charlotte Watson leading out the British team.
10 seconds.
So with only 10 seconds to start, they can get ready to unfurl their maps.
3, 2, 1, go!
And they're off. All the women now into the terrain. Terrain they've become familiar with over the last couple of days. Here, and lead it off. They've got quite a long run out before they even reach the start triangle, and then even a bit more track running before they step out properly into the terrain. This would just be a chance to get a little overview of what the course looks like, settle into your running, try and get ahead the lead of the pack, and begin planning some of your route choices. Now, Jonas, who are we looking forward to make some moves here early on this women's relay?
Well, according to the results of the last days, it's not a hard guess that we expect the Swedish teams to do good. So the teams here in the pictures in front, Russia, Norway, Finland, I expect to do good today. And again, they start into this Catten area we have seen yesterday, and we start to run parallel to the slope. It's quite a long first leg, first control, so they have some time to get into the race. I think that's the runners will feel quite comfortable with that. It's always a bit harder if you have a short control in the relay, then it's more nervous. The situation is a bit more stressful for the runners. So I think they kind of appreciate it. But then, I mean, it's a forking. The controls are quite close together. You have to be careful, especially because it's kind of slope orienteering here.
Yeah, it's not the easiest first control on a relay.
Yeah, but you have many features to read before the control. So I think for some of the runners, or for most of the runners, this kind of orienteering is easier than the one we have seen at the World Championships, when you don't have that many features to read, when it's more vegetation you have to read in a slope. That's much more difficult for many of the runners here. I think here you really have the possibility to read all the way to the control, and that makes it kind of easier.
But these are our live tracking. No, they aren't. They are arena passage on the first leg, and it's still the two Swedish teams leading rounds.
So we made a small jump in the competition here. So now they are about 2/3 into the first leg, and we have the two Swedish teams in the lead here, Lina Strand and Lisa Risby. We also know that Switzerland did quite a big mistake in the beginning. Switzerland, the first team. Now we see them come to the first exchange. So that's the finish of the first leg.
Yep, and Lina Strand handing over to Karen Olsen, Lisa Risby now handing over to Sarah Hagström. We've also got Russia 1, Rudnaya in there, and Finland 2, Maja Sinaya handing over. So those top 4 teams within 8 seconds.
This is Paula Gross, Switzerland 2, handing over to Sophie Bachmann.
And now this is the first team from Finland, Sari Antonen on the first leg. Drop down now, it'll be almost a minute by the time she crosses the finish line and hands over. She'll hand over to Lotta Kahola. We also, now there we go, seeing the first Norwegian team, Silje Kroljaren, handing over to Marianne Andersen. Has dropped some time in the final part of the course, was amongst the top few teams. So Sari Antonen hands over to Lotte Kohler, and she is a minute. Here's the fastest of the Norwegians so far. Silja Kroliaren, she's got two more strong runners after her, Marianne Andersen, and then on the third leg, Camilla Olausson. So those are the standings after changeover number 1. Interesting to see there, down in 9th position, Switzerland won with Julia Jakob on first leg. 3 minutes 31 behind. She's running with Simona Abersold and Sabine Hausruth.
And that's a replay now from the second leg. See there the Swedish second team. They did a mistake and they lost contact to this first team, and again wrong direction out from the control. That's the part I was talking about. It's the visibility is low there, and I'm not sure. I think she's not punching the second. I think she did a mistake there. She forgot to. She was just jumping over one control. Or did, yeah, I think so. So I think she thought that she's already at control 5 when she punched the 4th control, and then started to read the way to control 6. So I think they will have a mispunch there in the end, because I don't think she will notice that she did this mistake.
No, and even if she relocates eventually, like it's too much to make that
in her
back
mind
up.
she's reading to control number 6, so she will see her there and then continuing and having a mispunch in the finish, most probably. Now we are waiting for Caroline Olsson, Sweden.
Oh, no.
What is that?
Some wildlife. It was a deer.
Oh dear.
I think our cameraman spotted, there we go, somebody's there.
Let's see if she is still all alone. Yeah, I got the feeling that she might have a little bit wrong direction into the control. Just missing it by some meters. And now it seems that she, I think, yeah, we'll see if she's coming first anyway.
This looks like Mironova here for the first Russian team.
Yeah, but we had Caroline Olsson punching the control some seconds ago, but of course now they have the possibility to close the gap again. I think there we had also...
This is Finland 2 and Mironova for Russia. So now Olsson's gap only 14 seconds. And now only the top 3.
And at the first TV control, those teams, they were 50 seconds and more behind. So Caroline Olsson, she lost around 35 seconds doing this mistake here. And this is Marianne Andersen.
Yep, for Norway 1. Andersen here, pulled up a couple of places. It was called up about a minute, over a minute there, and we also got the first team from Finland as well. Lotta Kohola goes into 5th spot, 1:05. So Sweden too, not sure whether she's realised that mistake, and it also puts Switzerland in a Sarah Hagstrom, but we know she missed out of control.
Yep. The Swedish second team, they will not be in the competition anymore. And here again the mistake of Caroline Olsson to the 6th control.
That's quite bizarre that she messed up to that extent there, because as you cross over the 2 streams, it's quite obvious the features there.
I think she might have felt a little bit too safe there up to the 6th control, and then she was surprised not seeing the control, not really doing the job all the way. But still, it seems that she is pushing really hard here.
Yeah, she's got a high speed. If you think the gap at control 6 was 14 seconds, and the tail on the tracking there is 60 seconds, so going very, very fast down the slope.
Yeah, I would expect it to be around 40-45 seconds now.
So we'll soon see Caroline Olsson through the arena passage. There she is. Very distinctive running style. And she now will go through the arena, get some feedback on her race, and will head again out in the same direction that they took at the start. Another long run out into the terrain. So Caroline Olsson, she was put in the lead by Lina Strand after the first leg and maintains that lead. And yeah, the gap's grown just from control 6.
The gap was 14 seconds before, 20 compared to Svetlana Mironova, and 52 compared to Norway, Marianne Andersen. And she was just able to run away from them.
Yeah, that's
one control here.
That's very impressive.
Here they are. It's Mia Niitunen first. 57 seconds. So she just lost more than half a minute here. Yeah, 40 seconds.
And Mironova now into 3rd position. And then there's a bit more of a gap to the next runners, as we can follow both Olsson leading the race, and then Finland 2 and Russia 1 going through this arena passage. And here, because there's a chance to just stretch out your legs and run along this track again and try and do some planning for the second half of the course. Andersen also through.
So she lost more than half a minute on this one control down the hill there.
Also have Finland 1, Sweden 2, who we remember out of the race. They missed a control. Sophie Backman for Switzerland 2 in 7th, minute and 51 behind. And the gap you can see now on the tail on the GPS is over a minute. Such is the speed of Caroline Olsson, who's medalled in both races so far this weekend. And will surely have gained a lot of confidence in those results to bring through into the relay. You can look further behind Simone Abersold in the blue tracking there for Switzerland 1.
And we see that Caroline Olsson, she has control G. So Russia. Well, I think if you take control 9 and 10 together, control J might be a little bit, yeah, slower. I don't know.
It
Will be
certainly
hard to
seemed
say.
on the first leg that
Yeah.
the ones who had K were faster, but they just might have executed it better.
But if you take them together here, also if you include the 9th control, it seems that it's a little bit more distance there to take. But we are talking about seconds, so. And if we see how Olsson is just running away from the others, might not matter at all. Back there we see that Switzerland first team seems to have some problems getting the control 7. Here we have her, Simona Apersold. She's more than 4.5 minutes behind. And it was 3:45 before, so she lost 1 minute almost on this one control.
So Simona Abersold, a very talented junior, stepping up to the first team for Switzerland. But, you know, getting more and more experience in these situations, and let's give her the pressure. Let's have a look at replay here.
We both have Simona Apersold and Catherine Taylor. And yeah, she's at the wrong forking there, Catherine Taylor, and she has no idea where she is, obviously. It's very flat in just this area. You can see the hills if you expect them, but if you're not 100% sure where you are, she should see this small cliff there she passed right under the line, but now it seems that she has been everywhere here in the area except for the place where her control is located.
Ouch. I mean, full disclosure, that's pretty much what I did when I pre-ran it yesterday.
I don't think it will help her.
No.
No problems at all for Olsson, but we see that it was a little bit longer there for sure at control 9.
Yeah, and it seems like Anderson of Norway can catch some meters here, if not necessarily the time.
Only she has to climb some more meters compared to Caroline Olsson on this. I mean, she will run a little bit more straight. We see that Caroline Olsson, she has the possibility to avoid some of the climbing by going a little bit more to the east. And that's where she can win back some of the seconds she lost at control number 9 by having a little bit her control a little further up to the right.
Yeah, we can say Finland 1 also had the K forking and now got ahead of Finland 2. But by the time they get over to control 11, it might be the other way around again.
No problems at all for Olsson. Now it's only 3 controls left.
And then she hands over to a runner who's won 2 gold medals already in this World Cup round,
Alexandersson. So it looks pretty good for the Swedish team to get the 5th victory here. But let's see, everything can happen. We saw that when we saw Sara Hagström missing one of the controls.
But further back, we've got the 2 teams from Finland almost running next to each other. Looks like now they're splitting up.
And it seemed that Finland 1 was a little bit following Finland 2 there to the wrong forking, or at least in direction of the wrong forking. I think she knows where she is, but still she could have executed it a little bit better by running more straight, as we have seen Marianne Andersen doing it.
So we're at our next TV split control at 4.6 kilometers. Looking out for Caroline Olsen. There we go. Yep, no problems into that control. And now only a couple more to go before she can hand over to third leg runner, Tova Alexandersson.
And the gap before at the arena passage was 57 seconds compared to Mia Niitunen. But we saw that on the GPS that it was Marianne Andersen, and she was 1 minute and 28 seconds behind. I think it's less now. If she can get the control right there, she's heading down a little bit. Yeah, now she changes direction, just rounding the marsh there.
Now up to 45 seconds.
And 1:28 it was before.
Marianne Andersen having a good run for the Norwegian team, pulling up some places again. Here she is.
Backing from the control, some meters, and I think that proved us that this forking K was a little bit faster because Olsson was not doing a mistake on that one. So some seconds, let's say 20 seconds faster if you execute it well. We have Finland. And still the second team, Niitunen. So we are expecting the first team very soon there. This is Mironova for Russia, 1:52.
And there's the first team for Finland, 1:58. So Marianne Andersen for Norway, the good gap in second place at the moment, but a chasing group much closer together, and you can see that on the tracking. With the 2 teams from Finland and Russia, they're now chasing Norway in the second spot. But here are our leaders. It is Sweden 1, looking to make it a 5th straight gold for Sweden. Second at the World Championships this year, after a pretty brutal sprint finish between Judith Vida and Tova Alexandersson. They were together around almost the entire last leg of the relay. It was pretty special. And now she's on the way now to the last control. And after a pretty great leg, getting it right in the far area of the forest where her teammate has missed a control. Very good for Caroline Olsen, and putting her in good stead to take another medal. But here's the one runner waiting, Tova Alexandersson, He's got a gold in both medals, both races so far. And we just need to find out what the gap is. Caroline Olsen, now a familiar figure in the to be striding up the finish, and will cross the line, drop her map and hand over to the 7-time world champion.
It was a good race by Caroline Olsen. We saw her doing a mistake to the 6th control. Let's say it was around 45 seconds there, but otherwise it was, again, physically it seemed, she seemed to be very strong, as we have seen the days before already. And a good run, stable run, and a very good position now for Tove Alexandersson. And here is Marianne Andersen for Norway.
Yep, here's the current silver medal position team. And Andersen's had a very good race.
The gap before was 1 minute and 9 seconds. I think it will be a little bit more now. Again, very strong physically down the hill. Executed by Caroline Olsen. But also a good run. Up, taking now the 2nd position, Marianne Andersen for Norway.
And overtaking a lot of runners in the process compared to where she started this 2nd leg. So now we'll hand over to Camilla Olausson. Very good performance from the Norwegian. Now the gap is 1:27, so lost a little bit of time just going down the hill. I think such is the speed of Caroline Olsen, but now Norway in a good 2nd spot. Here is 3rd, and it's still Finland 2 with Mia Niitinen.
The gap before was 1 minute and 40 seconds, so she lost some more time here.
And I think Finland won, overtaking Russia won with Mironova, but Miranova's putting in a good performance in the run-in. She'll hand over to Tatiana Ryabkina. And Finland won is Henriika Heikkinen to finish there. So Niitinen, Finland 2, crosses the line, hands over to Anna Nari. The Russian will hand over to Ryabkina, and then on Finland 1, Henriika Heikkinen will finish that out. So those 3 teams within 6 seconds of each other, now battling for that bronze medal position. But 2 minutes 32 behind Sweden 1. And Alexandersson on the last leg. That's pretty much the gap that she had when she started the pursuit race yesterday.
Here we have Sara Hagström, but we know that she didn't punch the 5th control. Or she punched the 5th, but not the 6th. She came to the 5th control, and she thought that she's already at the 6th control, and then missing to take the 6th control.
Also got Switzerland 2 there, Sophie Brackmann. So Sara Hagström hands over to Alva Olsen. Has to drop her map first.
Yeah, it's not her biggest mistake today.
No, Switzerland 2, the best Swiss team at the moment. Sophie Brackmann hands over
To Sarina Jentzer.
Well, Sweden 2 not in the race, having missed control number 5 in the quite vague
Yeah,
area.
at least if the GPS is not totally misleading us
Yes.
here. replay of the GPS. We have the Swiss first team here. Simona Abersold missing her control. Let's say 45 seconds.
Yeah, just too low.
And then again here down to this control, not very distinct through the cliffs there.
But back behind Russia now. We have Kina.
Now we have some GPS. See Sweden. She's got control B.
Then Russia 1 and Finland 2, they both have A. And Norway 1 as well. Can't see what Finland 1 have at the moment.
Now we see that the Norwegian team. It's a little bit a risk that you had too much to the left there. Because you're running in the slope and it's very easy to just follow the contours and don't do the climbing all the way. So she has to be careful that she's not coming just above the cliff there. No problems at all for Tove Alexandersson. As it seems, at least. Is she heading back there? Yeah, it looks like some problems anyway. What is she doing there?
She must have missed it by meters, if the GPS is accurate.
Or is she... we see that this is Sarah Hagström. She got to know that she's disqualified now. Very disappointed, of course.
Yeah, this is what happened.
She
Made
was
control 4.
at control 4, and she already started to read from control 5 out to control 6, and then that's why she has this parallel mistake here, coming too far to the left. And then, of course, she has problems to find control 6 as well.
But it's so flat when you are going across that section from 5 to 6, is that, you know, you can easily think you're, you know, a couple of hundred meters too far west.
Well, the problem is not really that she was reading the map wrongly. It was more that she jumped over this fourth control and in some way started to read from control 5 to 6. I mean, she hit her forking perfectly there, and yeah, the problem started later in some way, but it's very hard to know what happened exactly there.
So we saw a little miss for Alexanderson at control 1. She had B, with everyone else behind her on the A forking. And
the gap before was 1 minute and 27. Now it seems to be 1 minute exactly, approximately, so half a minute there. And we see that Olausen is going out to this path. Actually, it's where Alexanderson is running. It's very open. It's very nice to run there. So it's almost a pity to go down on the path there. It's so beautiful up there.
but if you're going from forking the control A on both 1 and 2, then
yeah,
it
of
will
course.
drag
I mean, it's not a mistake.
No. And the next control 3, will be able to get another time check and catch them on the cameras. Now Alexanderson just has to be careful to get the right direction into B, but seems to be looking pretty good.
Seems to get the stone there as a feature just before the control. It's a very distinct null there, control B.
And further back in the race, the teams from Finland having to make a little diversion to control A, possibly losing some time compared to Russia.
Now we also see that Norway has some problems there. Actually, that shouldn't happen. If you go out to the path and you can follow this path, you shouldn't miss the control. Then you should follow the path all the way on the top to the top of the hill there, and then attack it from there.
Yeah, I think she just came off the path a little early. These were the standings at exchange number 2. Sweden won with a 1 minute 27 second lead ahead of Norway 1, and then another minute down to a group of 3, Finland 2, Finland 1, and well, we had Sweden 2, but they've been disqualified. Oh, so have Russia 1. Okay.
Don't really know what happened there.
No. Let's see if we can figure out what happened there with Russia, but we've got a disqualification on our system. So Switzerland 2 there, another minute and a half down with Celine Jens, I think, on the final leg there. So a couple of the early teams now, including the Russian team, currently in 3rd spot. We've got them down as disqualification. Let's try and clear up what's happened there. But Olausson managed to make it to control A. I think she just came off the track a little bit early, but still...
Didn't seem to be a minute anymore. No, the control, I think it's to the left, 15, yeah.
Well, Alexanderson still with the lead. Small mistake at control number 1, but not enough to damage the minute and a half lead that she had after Caroline Olsen handed over to her. Let's check what the gap is, though, back to Norway. And the next runner we should see is Camilla Olausson.
We had, as we said, the gap was 1 minute 27 at the changeover. Here she is, so it's less now. It's less than a minute. She's punching there. So it's only 50 seconds now. So she was able to catch around 40 seconds on this first part, on this first 1.3 kilometers.
And even though she missed a little bit, missed slightly on number 2, that's still catching up quite a lot. Now let's have a look at the group chasing for bronze, and it looks like it's going to be between Finland and Finland.
Exactly, because we got Russia as a miss punch there in our system.
Back there at control 3. We'll probably see the Russian team through next. Yeah, this looks like we have Kina.
Missing the control a little bit. Here, back there, we see Finland as well. Wasn't able to see which of the teams it was. We have them both together.
Neri and Heikkinen there punching pretty much together. Now we have the news about Russia. Just on the wrong forking at control number 1. Should have punched C. This is what happens.
She was punching B. It's I mean, it's almost the same feature. Actually, C is a null, but if you're not careful reading the map, you can mistake it as the re-entrant there, and then it looks very similar, Control B and C.
76 is Estonia 2, Laura Jonas.
Here we see, now Olausen has to be careful. She's a little bit off direction there. No problems for Alexanderson. And I think, yeah, some small problems there for Norway, but if she can see the control now, it's not big damage. But as I said, the forest there is it's very dense and the visibility is low, so you could expect her to see the control from there because it looks white on the map. But you also have those vegetation boundaries around, so it's an old cotton area there, and all the trees they didn't grow that far up yet, so they're small. Visibility is low, and I think this is a chance for Finland 1 and Finland 2 to get in contact with Norway again. No problems for Alexanderson taking the 5th control. And they have to go to different forkings there, the two Finnish teams. Now we have Olausen taking the control. We also see that Switzerland, second team, is doing a mistake to control 2. And very well, the two Finnish teams, they are splitting up. So good job, so far at least.
Yeah, they seem to have some good direction to control 4.
Now it's Switzerland have problems to get the control. Now it's a little bit strange direction out from the control again. Sarina Jenser.
Yeah, it's really important to get your direction right, especially in this area, because there aren't as many features and they're harder to see as compared to earlier in the course.
Well, you can see the features if you expect them. You can even see those 2.5 meter high hills there, but you don't see them if you just passively pass them. You have to really expect them and use them in a prospective way, running to the control. And a small mistake there of Anna Neri for the second Finnish team. No problems for the first team.
So it seems like no problems for Norway at control 5.
That's a replay of Switzerland having problems at the first control already, coming to control C first, and then doing the same as Camilla Olausen to the second, but then missing the control as well. So there she lost some time. We also see that the gap between Sweden and Norway is now more than 1 minute again. This is Sarina Jenser in the picture.
She's really looking around a lot. She knows the control is close. I mean, she can see the camera. The gap now 7 minutes, over 7 minutes, and over 5 minutes behind the two Finns. Well, there's the control.
I think we will see her again soon.
But especially when she's made a mistake on number 1, number 2, and number 3, then her confidence is going to be quite low, and you saw how much she was looking around. There we go.
It was very close for her to get the control, but as he said, if you have problems at the first control, at the second control, and then you get into this very flat part, the visibility isn't good, it's hard to navigate, and you're lacking this self-confidence, it doesn't make it easier.
Not at all. But still 5th place for Switzerland too. That was the mistake you can see on the tracking, and Austria there down in 6th spot. But after 2.5 kilometres on the first leg, we are looking out for our leader. Here she is, Sofia Alexandersson for Sweden 1. Still making pretty light work of this course. And I think the gap back to Norway will have grown now.
The gap was 50 seconds before. You've seen that the tail was 1 minute, and it was more than 1 minute between Sweden and Norway. And this is the replay. And we see the mistake Camilla Olafsen is doing there, coming out to this small path.
Yeah, and that'll be why the gap has grown.
And now we can also see that Norway, look at the, no, we didn't see it. I wanted to highlight the exit from control 5. We have seen the Finnish team, first team, going more straight. I really like that, and we saw that Camilla Olafsen was running around this marsh, taking some meters unnecessarily.
There's the Austrian team further back around the course at TV control 1.
Here we have Norway. So she lost 40 seconds almost from the first TV control to the second one.
I want to wait for Finland here.
And the gap to the Finnish teams was 2 minutes and 16 and 2 minutes and 17 before. So we expect them to be here very soon.
We also see the Russian team who've been disqualified after a missed punch on control number 1 of the first leg, but it's actually the Finns we see first.
It's the first team.
Yep, Henrika Heikkinen not lost any time really compared to Alexandersson. But still 50 seconds behind the silver medal position. And we'll soon see Finland too as well. This was the mistake.
I'm afraid that we'll see her miss again later on, or is it just a replay of the third control? Following Sarina Jantzer here to the fourth control, going to control E. Okay, it was just a replay of the mistake to the third control.
And we've seen Finland too now drop behind. There was a mistake, I think, Ben, to control 4-5.
It's about the same mistake as we have seen Caroline Olsson doing to this control 5.
But here's our leader, Sofia Alexandersson. Still looking very strong after 4 races in 3 days. And now she's about 2/3 of her way through the course, with possibly more physical last third.
This is Kat Taylor, I think. We have seen her doing a big mistake on this fourth control, I think it was, where she has been all over the place, but not at the place where the control would be.
Yeah, she was just on the, found the other control for the other forking. It's very easy to do down there. But Alexanderson is so strong and she can just make light work of this terrain.
And now it actually looks very good for the Swedish team to take the 5th victory this weekend.
Yeah, out of 5.
Here we have Camilla Olausen for Norway. Still doing quite a good race.
But the gap's grown again, I think.
Yeah, the gap was 128 before. It's 141.
So now next we're looking for Finland 1.
The gap there was 2 minutes and 19 seconds. So it's also interesting to compare her to Norway, to Camilla Olausen. Here she is already. So she is going strong. It was 2 minutes and 19. We know that she didn't lose any time from TV1 to TV2, and she continues to have the same speed as Tove Alexandersson also to this arena passage.
So now 40 seconds behind the silver medalist, and she's lost her teammate. Finland 2 dropped down.
No, from the splits here, Anna Nerhi, she punched 3 minutes and 59 seconds behind. So she lost quite a lot of time there, doing the mistake to the 6th control.
This is the gap now, and we can see that all of the runners have the same forkings on this final loop. Something they'll probably expect to have, but at the moment, at this point, it makes no difference. Well, it doesn't make any difference for Alexanderson. So no problems for control number 9 for Alexanderson, but this is Finland 2, and now 4 minutes behind Sweden 1, who are leading. Anna Neri running behind Ryabkina for Russia, the disqualified Russian team. So Finland 2 in 4th place, but 4 minutes down, the 2 Finnish teams were running together, but some small mistakes in the far part of the forest.
We see also that there's still the Russian team in the game, and she's kind of a help for Anna Nerhi, or she can be at least. Even though we know that she's not in the competition anymore.
Yeah, taking on some liquids and just doesn't quite seem as strong through this arena passage as her teammate, and can be an explanation of dropping back some time.
See the gap between Norway and Finland is a little bit less than 1 minute. As it was before, it was 40 seconds at the arena passage. That's, I think I spotted Swiss
team.
Yeah. Sabine Hauswirth. 9 minutes behind. A big gap there between the 4th and the 5th position. And also here we have Sarina Jenser, so she lost a lot of time there.
And Switzerland 1 have caught up Switzerland 2. Yeah, you can see them running together in the pink and red trackings. Bottom of the screen.
Oh, and I get the feeling that Norway is losing some time there compared to Finland.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, Heikkinen looks to have a better speed in the semi-open area.
And for sure, there's a chance now for Heikkinen to see Norway, maybe not here, but later on out from control 10. If she can get the control 9 without any problems. Still, it's an uphill there, so it seems closer than it is. No problems for Tove Alexanderson at the 10th control. Now heading to control 11.
And now it looks like the gap between Norway and Finland is more than a minute. Or about a minute. But, yeah, certainly trying to take some different direction here.
Excellent start in about 22 minutes. About 17 minutes.
And all three of the top 3 positions, they have quite a safe situation at the moment. It's not very stressful for them. I mean, they see that there's no one around if they look in front of them and if they look back, so it's just to save the position at the moment, I think, for most of them.
But still, they know they're in a medal position, and that kind of expectation on your orienteering can be a challenge, can be a lot of pressure. Of course, at the front, Alexanderson is quite used to being in this position, and she was being chased down yesterday in our chasing start and managed to put together some solid orienteering.
This is Sabine Hauswirth for the first Swiss team. 9 minutes and 33 seconds behind, in 5th position. She was able to run away from the second team, Sarina Jenser.
Yeah, it's definitely got the
here.
highest speed, but Jenser making a lot of mistakes on the first 3 controls. Yeah, and you can see now Hauswirth with the much higher speed through here, and Jensen knows she's her mistakes have really cost her a lot. Well, Finland 1 also make control number 10. Just like a less direct, less straight route choice. But all the top 3 teams in very secure positions at the moment.
This is for Tove Alexanderson. It's let's say, the last control you could miss, but she doesn't, as we see here. So it's only run down the hill to the open area maybe even follow the speaker sound all the way to the last control.
Her job is pretty much done to take Sweden to a 5th gold of this World Cup round. Alexanderson still looking very, very comfortable. She's got a gap of over a minute. And we know she's a runner with such incredible physical strength and ease of running through all types of terrains. So this is the arena, and we'll soon see her popping out from the wood, from the forest. There she is. So Alexanderson, in fact, with Sweden in the lead all the way around this relay. From first leg, Lina Strand, second leg, Caroline Olsen, who was able to get a bigger gap on the rest of the field, and then Alexanderson just has to complete the race. But a pretty good team effort all round, and they can join each other on the run-in, having got a big gap over the rest of the field. A secure first spot, but it is the 5th gold of this World Cup round for Sweden. They've run every single gold medal available so far, with one left to be decided. It is the team of Sweden, Lina Strand, Caroline Olsen and Tove Alexanderson, who can parade the flag up the run-in with a great team performance by all to take another gold.
We have about 2 minutes to summarize this relay. I mean, we had a really good start for the Swedish team. Stable performance by Lina Strand. Very good race. I mean, it's a lot of pressure if you're in a team like that to do the start leg, the first leg, and she performed really well. I think it was a small mistake in the beginning, one of the forkings, but she was up there all the way and could hand over to Caroline Olsen in a very good position. And also she did a really good race, except for one control where she missed about 45 seconds. But she was so strong physically that she could hand over to Tove Alexanderson with quite a big gap. And I mean, she's so used to those situations. She could, I mean, it was a good training for her yesterday to get out and be the one chased. And she did very well, no problems. Yeah, she had some small problems to the first control, but not big enough to get the other runners in contact. So very well-deserved victory also today for Team Sweden.
But here are the silver medal team. It's Norway 1, Camilla Olausson, now just on the final stages. All she has to do is punch this final control. Led up by Silja Ekvall-Jaren with Marianne Andersson on second leg. And taking a different direction. So Camilla Olausson gets second silver of this World Cup round. There are her teammates waiting for her to make their way up the run-in, and I think we should highlight the performance of Marianne Andersson, I think, on this Norwegian team, pulling them up a fair few places with a very strong second leg. Just checking that that it is silver for them. Yep, that's right. The team of Silja Ekvall-Jaren, Marianne Andersson and Camilla Olausson into a silver medal spot on this women's relay.
Also here, good performances. I mean, we haven't seen that much of Silja's run on the first leg. I know that she opened good. She was in contention with the leaders in the first TV controls, but she must have lost some time in the second loop. But as you said, Marianne Andersson did her job really well. She did a solid race, as we are used from her. and she could lead them up to the second position, where we saw Camilla Olofsson defending that one pretty well.
This is the third place team though. It is Finland 1. Can also meet the teammates. So that team of Sari Antonen, Lotta Kohola and Henrika Heikkinen. Also in a very secure third position. For a long time it was actually Finland 2 ahead of Finland 1. But on the last leg they were able to get the gap and just looked stronger around the final few stages. So there we go, there's our bronze medalist team. Sari Antonen, Lotta Kohola and Henrika Heikkinen on the third leg. So there we go, our top 3 teams, Sweden, Norway and Finland.
Yeah, good team performance by the Finnish teams. They have both the first and the second team here, which were in the lead, or at least quite close to the leaders during the whole relay. So it's nice to see them that strong. We're missing the Swiss team. They didn't have their best day today.
Yeah, that is the case. I mean, we can talk about the fact that maybe 2 of the strongest Swiss runners aren't here, but I mean they should not be this far down.
Of course, and I mean you have the runners at the start line. I mean, it's just the team you have, and Switzerland is quite a big orienteering nation. It's not really an excuse. It's just, I mean, if all of them would have done a good race without any mistake, then we could say, okay, they were just not strong enough. But we have seen many mistakes by the Swiss team.
But Finland 2 now come to the finish with Maija Sienoja, Mia Niitinen and Anna Neri on the final leg. We were running pretty much together with Finland 1, but a good placing for the nation with a 3rd and 4th place. Most consistent of the nations.
Så är det sån att jag hoppas det får vi samma resultat nästa år också, eller?
I think next we'll see possibly, well, the Russians, even though they've been disqualified on the second leg, and then it'll be the Swiss teams as well. These are the results. Sweden won eventually with a lead of 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Over a minute then later to Finland 1, and then Finland 2 in the 5 minutes of racing. It'll be another, I reckon, another 4, well, maybe 4 minutes until we get the Swiss teams into the finish. So overall on the women's relay, mistakes being made, and the group ended up being very split up.
Yeah, it was, I mean, we have seen on the last leg there were no groups at all. We had 1 minute ahead of Norway, and then we had another minute to Team Finland, and then another minute to the second Finnish team. It's not very usual that we see competitions like that. But it's when you have a race with that many forkings, also in this very diffuse area, green area where it's flat, that's splitting up the groups, and I mean, in a way that's very good, because then they have to orienteer on themselves, but in another way it would have been more exciting with some grouping. But I mean, we still have the men's race left, and there's I mean, if you just remember the relay from the World Championships, expect it to be very tight there. And I mean, let's see, all the nations are very eager to take this victory. I don't think they want to let the Swedish team get all the gold medals this weekend.
Absolutely not. So we're going to move on now to the men's relay, which will get going very, very shortly. Again, of course, in teams of 3. They'll head on a similar course as we've seen the women take. It's warmed up a bit since the women started, but I mean, fairly obvious. Pretty good conditions still for running and for spectating here in the arena. Got some sunshine. Always good for watching some great orienteering. And today, 6.8 kilometers, 210 meters of climb, and an estimated winning time for each leg of 37 minutes. Let's take a look at the course.
And we have the same start as we have seen in the women's race. Exactly the same first control, the same forking there. Also the second control going up in this, here it is very open. And now we're getting into this area where the visibility is low and where we have the forkings. Seen many mistakes there at control number 4 and 5. Back to control 6, where we also have seen some of the mistakes. Now there's the first control different, the forking there, 3 different controls. Then you have the arena passage, and now we have a longer loop here on the second part. Quite a long leg, unforked there, control 9. Then a forking to control 10, 11 is TV control, and then go in this into this cutting area. Also there, different controls compared to the women's relay. And then back to the arena and the finish.
Yep, so the first part of the race quite similar to, well, the same as the women's, and then you just add that little bit extra distance.
Here we have the start list, and I mean, we have three, I would say we have 3 very strong teams here. We have Team Switzerland, Team Norway. I think both of them, as I said before, very eager to get the victory and not letting Sweden take all the victories this weekend. But of course, I mean, if we just take the results from the last days, Team Sweden for sure is as much favorite as Team Norway and Switzerland.
Yeah, they've got 2 gold medalists from this weekend on their team, in Gustav Bergman and William Lind. They've got Albin Rudefeld on first leg for Sweden 1. But also, you need to think about some of the second and third teams, especially for the top nations as well. Quite a few teams running, quite a few nations, sorry, running with 3 teams. And it always gets interesting when you have nations teammates running against each other. Now, Daniel Hubman will lead out the Swiss team, handing over to Florian Howald and Matthias Kieberts on final leg. Now, very experienced Norwegian relay team, multiple World Championship titles gone Norway's way. And Sweden will be looking for their now 6th gold medal of this World Cup round. Led out by Albin Rudefeld. Russia, Artem Popov lead out the Russian team. Wearing number 5. Jan Petzela leading out the team from the Czech Republic with their strongest runners on the last couple of legs. We'll see if Finland can emulate the success and the bronze medal of the women's team. Led out by Mika Kiermana. And France, Mathieu Perrin, Frédéric Tonchon, Vincent Cupard. And then Great Britain in 10th spot, led out by Hector Haynes. Hand over to Alistair McLeod and Ralph Street on the final leg. So only a few seconds now till the start of the men's relay.
3, 2, 1, go!
And they're off with Artem Popov of Russia getting a good start, and you've got to put yourself in a good position in the pack. We saw a group of up to 15 runners yesterday all bunching together, and by the time it was cut down to 12 at the end, you really needed to be in a good position in the pack. Tactics playing a big part in that orienteering. It looks like it is Switzerland to lead them out into the forest again. Same start of the course as the women's. They have a long run out here. Florian Schneider for Switzerland 2, who's taken distance out of the others, just tripping over some tape behind. Got Russia there, Sweden, but Schneider's decided that he can lead them out. We'll cut through this felled area to find the small track and able to get a lot of speed at the beginning of the course, and a little gap there to Alvin Rudefeld wearing number 3. Martin Popov wearing number 5 for Russia. And here's further back in the pack. And hopefully we'll see a bit of a tighter race compared to the women's. Still with the opportunity for people's things to chop and changes with the next stakes. So still climbing up this track, and they will first properly step into the terrain about here, and then they've got, there are 3 different controls to make their way to. Reasonably long leg.
We see that they are splitting up already here a little bit. So here we have the tracking. We're spreading out. We'll pass control 14 there on the way to the first one.
Here there looks to be 3 distinct groups just going parallel to each other in the terrain. Certainly if you're looking at the tracking of Rudefeld in the bright green, he's got control C here for number 1, so the westernmost of the controls, making sense for him to stay high. And in fact, you don't want to drop down too low and get caught up in the crags. See the pink mark for Finland 1, Mika Kiemala has control B. But Switzerland 1 with Daniel Hubman, he's looking for A, so pretty much on the line there.
Hubman is quite much to the left there. Straight direction of the cliff. I've seen that in the women's race as well, that some of them had to adjust their direction when they're above this cliff there. And we see that teams which stayed higher up in the slope there, they are now already coming close to the control. See that one is losing time there. I mean, there are already some seconds he's losing there. See, no problems. Yeah. Sweden, he has to go to the right now. Now he has seen the control, I think. So Czech Republic. For sure, control A is a little bit slower here. I mean, the control is down in the green, and it's further away than the other 2 controls. So it's not the easiest one. But in a way, it's good to have it on the first leg anyway. But of course, you don't want to be too much behind there.
See Finland won in the pink dots on the way to control A. Need to make sure that have the change of direction. But now they are closer back together, and so looking like Sweden won leading with Albin Rydefeld. They've got William Lind on the final leg for Sweden, the winner of the sprint finish on yesterday's pursuit race. So they know they've got someone who can really attack the end of the course on their final leg, should it come to that.
And we see Team Finland doing quite a big mistake there, missing control B. We also see Austria doing a mistake to the first control. Austria control A, and they were, when we remember the World Championships relay, they were all the way in the group, ended up in 4th position. Robert Merl with a very good race on the last leg there. Now they already missed the first control, and I mean for them it's crucial to be in the group if they want to be up in the position they were at the World Championships.
And in fact they've found every single control, C, B, but not the one they're looking for, A.
And we also see that 3 of the 4 teams we have behind here in this tracking had control A, so it seems to be slower and it seems to be more difficult. And now, of course, at the second control, it's a little bit faster to go to control A. We also have the second Norwegian team there with A, so all the guys had control A are a little bit behind there. They get now the chance to catch up again. Don't know what Russia is doing there. They should have their control, I think. They have control B, so he passed it without... He's following to control C there. Good start also for Norway, first team. And we see that all the guys there having control A, they are now back in the leading group, or almost.
Yeah, and they'll start to see each other again in the forest. And then we have camera at control 3.
And now we see that Team Russia, he stopped there, Artem Popov. He has to go back to control B again. He was there, I mean we see tail, he passed it, control, but
Bit too high, I think. This is control 3. Let's see who we see first, and it is Albin Rydefeld on the left of picture, just punched the control. Here's everybody else making their way there. Also Danish team, Petrzelov from the Czech Republic also punched there. Some of them just too far to the right, haven't quite seen it. Tua Lassen, mixed team. In 3rd place, Mathieu Perrin for France there, Schönberg for Norway. Sikora there too, Martin Noble and Daniel Hoodman for the first Swiss team, 24 seconds behind. Anton Sjökvist for Sweden too. Well, for Sweden as well.
Three British teams there within some seconds.
Yep, and then the top, there we go, 22 teams in a minute, 23 teams. So the first forking definitely split the group apart. Let's see what happened to Russia.
I mean, he is there at control B, following to control C. I don't know if he was on the wrong side of control B and just not seeing it. Yeah. Something happened, I don't know what, but for sure he lost quite a lot of time there.
Now there's a gap back to Kiamala for Finland 1. We saw a mistake to control number 1. So 140 down. And Popov there for Russia, 147 down.
Here we have Joey Hadorn. Today he opened the map before the arena passage. Yesterday, first time, he still had it rolled up when he passed the arena after half of the course. So a little bit more work he's doing today than he compared to yesterday. Let's see, now I think this is a very interesting forking, especially on the first leg when you have many runners around you. So we have these 2 different controls, or a couple of controls, D and E. No problems so far as I can spot here. There's I think Hoopman might be at the wrong control there. We don't have his... There's a red dot, so I think it's Hoopman being at control E, so he has to go back to control D. Seems to be quite a nervous start by Daniel Hoopman. Going back, now he has control over the situation again, but he loses, let's say, another 45 seconds there. So really a lot of time, and well, if you look back at some relays, it's very hard to get in contact again once you're more than 1 minute behind.
Yeah, it looks like from the trackings that we have on screen that he's the only one to make the mistake between D and E, but we don't have all the trackings on screen here.
Mm. You can say that good start from Czech Republic. Jan Petersela, so very good start, not totally unexpected. Team Sweden, Albin Riedefeld, also quite a solid start. Norway, Eskil Schinderberg, and a good start for the German team as well. Felix Speth together in the group in Norway, and also with France, Mathieu Perrin.
And now Switzerland 2, Florian Schneider overtaken Switzerland 1 with Daniel Hubin, that mistake on number 4.
And Schneider, he was, I think, if I remember right, he was around 55 seconds behind at the first TV control, so it's definitely more than a minute. It's around 1.5 minutes. He lost here on this first 4 controls, Daniel Hoopman.
Again, a bit hesitant into control 5 as well, and now possibly running by himself. But at the front of the race, Sweden and the Czech Republic together.
Well, I mean, the good thing for Hoopman in this position is that it's the first leg and it's early in the first leg, so there are many runners around. You have many backs to you can see when you're running a long leg like this one here to the 6 control. So if you have the physical strength, you can for sure win back some seconds. But I mean, it's tough. It's tough, but it's easier on the first leg, in the beginning of the first leg, than it is on the last leg or on the second leg.
And he'll be glad of all the forkings today.
Yeah, but only if he can change his way of orienteering. I mean, if he loses self-confidence now, it's tough with forkings, but if he can get into the race in a better way, then for sure it's good for him with forkings.
Okay, back at control number 6 for our next time check. We're looking for Sweden and for the Czech Republic, I think, to reach this point first. Here's one of the shirts, and I think it's the Czech runner.
Republic, Jan Peterschela. And then we have Albin some meters behind.
Jan Peterschela makes control 6 first, with Riedefeld 3 seconds behind, and looking for anyone else coming through the forest. Looks Lassen on the mixed team.
So Norwegian team. It's like Vestergaard, Martin Rekborn for Sweden, Eskil Kinneberg for Norway, the first team, Perrin for France, and also another Swedish team there, Anton Sjöqvist, and still there in a good position, also Germany, 10th position, Felix Beth, 25 seconds behind. We have Ingard for Norway, also Kuka for Finland. And here is the second Swedish team, Florian Schneider, so Matt Speak for Great Britain.
Kate Hines also for Great Britain.
British train, where's the third runner? We had 3 teams at the first TV control together.
And where is Daniel Hubman as well?
I mean, it would be very important for Hubman to soon get the back of the British teams there, and so then it would feel that he is at least. There are always some runners on the way up to the leading group. Of course, he doesn't know that, but as long as he can see some backs of other runners, the race is not over for him. But I mean, it's, you look here, it's more than half a minute up to Great Britain. I would say like 40 seconds. Let's take a look at the splits. Yeah,
35 seconds. So 35 seconds between Great Britain 1 and Switzerland 1. And now they head into the greener section, and different forkings here. In fact,
you can really see that Albin Riedefeld is starting to expect the forking there, going some meters away from the Czech team, even though they seem to have the same forking here. It's good here in this situation to have the first control coming, because even if you have total control over the situation, it's always kind of disturbing to pass another control. You would really like to exactly know where this control is when you pass it, and then it just slows you down some seconds, even if you, as I said, have total control over the situation. So it's very good if you just have the first control, then you can continue without hesitating.
Yeah, and then all you have to do is aim for this field in the arena to get down for the arena passage.
And now we see that they start to get a gap there, the Czech team and also Swedish team. It's I would say it's 25 seconds maybe compared to France and also the second Swedish team and Team Norway, and very soon we will have them here. Here they are. Now it's Riedefeld in the lead.
Yep, and they pass our spectators, and this is the chasing pack.
Let's see, the gap was 15 seconds before to a lesson.
Well, two is now further down this pack, and the gap has grown. It's now 32 seconds down to Mathieu Perrin. Regborn for Sweden 2 is in there as well, 34 seconds down. Sikora, Kinneberg, Vestergaard, Spate, Kuka, Ingard, Schneider, Lassen. So Eskil Kinneberg actually caught up possibly some of the group there. We didn't see him at the previous radio control. Norway and Sweden overtaking France there just on the arena passage, and again they've got a fair distance to run out at this point.
And let's see, I mean, we had a gap there between Poland and then Team Switzerland of about 20 seconds. Let's see if Daniel Hopman is able to maybe close some of the gaps to get contact to other runners.
Yeah, we saw him take a different route choice to this 7th control though, staying south of the stream.
I mean, here he has a chance to at least see other runners back and get a feeling about distance back or to the runners in front of them. Now they can see for sure the 2 leaders, and they get a feeling about how much time they are behind. See, it's now Eskil Skinneberg taking the lead here. Martin Rekborn second in the group, and then Vestergaard for another Norwegian team in 3rd position in this group.
And this group will really work together, especially now they've got them in the sights.
And we also know that the next control is unforked. Of course, we know that, they don't know.
Yeah, it's another long one out of the arena.
It's quite a tough leg here. So the next control is a lot of climbing. And at the moment here, I mean, the runnability is good, but a little bit later on, more up in this hill, there's more wood on the ground. It's harder to run there. You have to lift your feet all the way. And now it's a gap here. Albin Riedefeld is able to run away from Jan Petter Schela.
And yeah, I think the others are actually catching up the runner from the Czech Republic as well, led by Eskil Skinneberg. And that gives you some good feedback when you can see the runners ahead of you and you know you're gaining some time, and every runner you overtake is a place you move up.
I can also give you the time of Daniel Hopman at the arena passage. He was 1:41 behind. 1:41. And before it was 1:29, so he's continuing to losing time there, but we don't know exactly about the forking he had just before the arena passage. As we have seen, the 2 runners in front, they were able to run away a little bit, so for sure it was faster to have the first one, the cliff there.
And even if they don't, you know, they don't know that the next control doesn't have any forkings, but they'll know that if there were forkings, they're still going to be close together. So that, and because it's a long leg, they can just still follow.
Here we see the difference that some teams, they just lose time by having another forking. Let's see. Oh,
And the second Czech Republic team also.
Yeah. And we see that Hopman, he had the control that is located most down slope. I think it's just a little bit longer to go down there. And here we see, I mean, the control itself, it's quite an easy one. So all of the runners, they will notice, okay, that's not a very difficult one. So they will follow, and everyone will have control over the situation here.
I think it's Finland 3 who've dropped down to the stream. Whereas Petrzela staying in the more open area, the others trying to pick up this track and then go up the stream to control 9.
And you see, it feels as if they're getting closer again, the teams behind. It's not this 20 seconds gap anymore. As we had, it was 30 seconds at the arena passage. For sure, it's not 30 seconds anymore. Might be around 20.
And you can see the dark green dot is Norway 1 heading up the stream here, just a little bit higher than the Sweden one.
Together with the Czech team. And this is the control we were talking about. I think that's the control they're coming to.
Now this looks to be a couple of controls later in the race. Number 119.
It's two control. This is the control we are waiting the runners to come to, and it's still Albin Riedeveld for Sweden. Let's see how big the gap is. Here it's Florian Schneider. Did a great job in the uphill here, together with Westergaard and Kinneberg. So Rekborn, I think it was, for Sweden. Yes, indeed. Felix Bad still doing a great job there. Also Anton Sjöqvist. Have Finland. So have Czech Republic, or a mixed team there. We also have Jan Petterschela. He lost some time. He lost half a minute from the arena passage.
And now there are 7 teams within 30 seconds of the lead.
Last one there, Mathieu Perrin from France.
So now they have a forked control here at number 10, before we'll see them again at number 11.
Tui Lassen there for a mixed team. Einaro for Finland, 122 behind. We know that Hopman was 140 approximately behind at the arena passage.
Matt Peak still leading the British train with Hector Haynes second there. Artem Popov.
You've seen him doing mistake to the second control. And Hopman is losing time still, 150 behind. Quite a big group here, but not a good start for the Swiss team. We also have Rudolf Cernis there. We remember him very well from the World Championships relay. And let's see where Petterschela lost half a minute here compared to Albin Riedeveld. At this point they're still more or less together. And now he's following this cutting area up more straight, holding the line there. And then deciding to go down again. I mean, it was okay what he did, but he should have continued to run on the spur there and follow the spur all the way up to the control. Now we see that there's a gap. Albin Riedeveld, let's say half a minute again.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We don't know which forking he has, but I expect him to have a control M, otherwise it would be very distinct to the wrong control there for being alone. If you have control L, you would like to go to stay a little bit more up, as we see many of the other runners doing.
Yeah, this is control 11. Here he is.
Now he is all alone here again. Sweden in the top. Let's see the gap. I expect it to be around half a minute.
And I think he had the slightly shorter of the 2 forkings there as well, or slightly quicker.
But he's not the only one having that one. So some of the teams, they continue to lose time here.
Yeah, now over 30 seconds is the gap.
We know that on the second leg for Sweden we will have Gustav Bergman, and he did 2 great performances so far, winning his first individual World Cup Friday and ending up in second position yesterday. This is Vestergaard for Norway, for the second team, I think it is.
Yep.
Yep.
Now looking for, there's everybody else coming from the other
But
direction.
look at the time, they lost more now. They are more than a minute behind. This is Kinneberg, Ekborn, Schneider, Speth, Sjöqvist, Igard, Petersela, and Kuka.
And this looks like Tua Lassen and the group with Popov and Daniel Hupman as well.
This group was 150 behind, so they are going in a quite okay speed now, especially compared to the chasing group. But still, it's a lot of time they are behind. And
Oh,
yeah, it's the right control. It's unforked there. What is he doing? What is he doing there? I mean, it's TV control. It's unforked for sure.
codes? Checking your codes?
Did he miss the control before? Maybe. Yeah, I think. Let's see if we will see it again in
There
the
are-
GPS. That's the reason why he was running away from this group with Great Britain. I think he was just missing to take the control before. Doesn't seem to be a Swiss day today.
Unfortunately not. No, mistakes on the women's relay as well from the Swiss teams. And now we're up to 3 minutes behind Liederfeld for Sweden
Man
1.
was a little bit disappointed yesterday. He thought that it's a pity that you can have good results without doing a lot of orienteering, but today he has a chance to do some good orienteering, but he's not really taking this one. He just forgot to punch the 10th control.
Oh, he's
Shows
got-
me a little bit that he must be quite stressed in this situation. See no problems at all for Riedefeld, and again, I mean, he's there, he's just not punching the control.
That was the hesitations back there, and just the other side of the.
I mean, there it's 1 minute to go, so he lost 3 minutes at least here, because he was 1 minute from M to the next control, 1 minute back, and 1 minute there again. So 3 minutes here approximately. Only at this one, and then he was 2 minutes behind already before.
And now he's all alone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can see there now a minute behind the British teams. That's painful. Painful for Swiss orienteering fans.
That's the control again we have seen in the women's relay. Here we have Albin Riedefeld punching there, no problems at all. Gap before was 51 seconds, so let's see how it looks now. Waiting for the Norwegian teams. Here we have one of them.
No, one of the Finns.
It's Finland. Here we have Eskil Kinneberg. We also have Florian Schneider. We also have Felix Spät, Martin Rekborn. So I mean, we were talking about a bad day for the Swiss, but still there's the second team there. And Schneider is doing a great job here on the first leg.
Yeah, they have Jonas Ecker and Andreas Kuberts also on the Swiss second team.
Strong performance here by the Norwegians. They have 3 teams within the top 10. Also
So
3
too the
Swedish
Swedes.
teams. Yeah.
Here's the next group with Ukraine, Sherbakov, Popovetu, Belarus, Rusonis, Heinero. That's a group of 5 there now. Chase.
Sikra there, missing the control. Lassen, Mathieu Perrin for France. Here we have a Czech runner. Yes, Sikra running for a mixed team. Now we are waiting for Albin Riedefeld. Here he is.
Here he is at the end of the first leg. We'll hand over to Gustav Bergman, who's got a gold and a silver from this competition already. So Albin Riedefeld with a really good gap over the rest of the field. Looks very strong out there in the forest. And the gap is about 50 seconds down to second place at the moment. So Sweden won, again leading the relay after Sweden taking medals in all the races so far. He'll hand over to Gustav Bergman now to begin the second leg after 38 minutes of running. So Albin Riedefeld for Sweden won, crosses the line, and will hand over now to Gustav Bergman. But where are the rest of the teams? There they are.
Now it's a very big group coming here. But yeah, let's see. It will be interesting to see if the big star of this weekend so far, Gustav Bergman, of course on the men's side, because we had Tove also in the women's class as a big star, but Gustav Bergman, if he can keep the lead over this very big group chasing here. Great performance by Florian Schneider. Very happy with that.
Yeah, so Switzerland 2 finish first leg in second place. Hand over to Jonas Ecker. Checking it's the right one. Also have Vestergaard. And then a whole group.
Kinneberg, Petschela, all together there. Here we have Gustav Bergman on the way to the first control. He just passed the start triangle.
And he is a man who's got to take a lot of confidence from his 2 performances and know that his orienteering and his shape is good.
Yeah, he's not known for lacking confidence, Gustav Bergman. So I'm sure he likes this situation here. We have Rudolf Stanis, Sherbakov and Popov. Great first leg also for Germany, Felix Spät. Handing over in 6th position, only 49 seconds behind.
So this group, that group of 3 are 40 seconds behind the first chasing group with Norway, ending with Norway 2. Let's have a look at this replay.
Well, that's not, it's not Hoopman's day today. That's safe to say.
It is very safe to say.
Sikra, Terrain and Tue Lassen. Jonas Leandersson.
His first orienteering race of this weekend.
He was running a running competition, athletics competition, 10,000 meters on is it Friday? Saturday? Friday. We have Jonas Ecker as well, the second Swiss team. It's a tough job for this group behind now. They have Olav Lundanes in the group, and it's not that easy to follow him. For some of the guys, I'm sure it will be a tough job.
But if you think of that group there of up to 9 runners, to have Lundanes in that group chasing the lead of Sweden, that's good. Here, though, is Switzerland 1, and Daniel Hubman has not had a good day at the office today. He's over 4 minutes behind the lead of Sweden, and that is a very, very big gap. Lots of mistakes out in the field, including having to go back to 1 control. So now all hopes for Swiss orienteering fans in the hands of the second team. He'll hand over to Florian Hovald, who will be a whole minute behind Great Britain 1 and 2 and running by himself in the forest.
In a way, it's quite impressive anyway that he noticed that he jumped over a control. It's not that easy to notice that. Usually when you do something like that, we have seen that at the World Champs when Tove Alexandersson jumped over a control, or even in the women's race today. You just check the control number and you see it's actually a control I have to have, so you continue. But he noticed that he must have missed 1 control and went back still. I mean, there he lost like 2.5, 3 minutes.
So leading the race, Gustav Bergman got his way to control number 1, and that's the 1A, the most difficult, probably the slowest one there. Norway, they have C.
Yeah, he had a lead of 43 seconds, Gustav Bergman, but now it seems to be less here. Of course, as we've seen on the first leg, it's a bit slower to have the A control here at the first one. Of course, later on you will have the second one. It's a bit faster, but now they have, it opens up for the other teams and they get a feeling that they start to get contact again to the lead. And we see that Olav Lundanes, now we should be able to see Gustav Bergman already.
And we've got Sweden 2 as well, with Jonas Leandersson reaching control B before control C. Was running about the same pace as Lundanes on Norway 1.
And we see that there are some teams, they already have problems to follow the speed of Lundanes and also Jonas Leandersson. See that, for example, Switzerland's second team, Jonas Ecker, is losing contention. He has to go to control A. He is at control B at the moment. That shows me that the speed most probably was a little bit too high for him. We have now Norway and Sweden together, but Norway has to go all the way to control C, and Bergman for Sweden, he can take control A, which is closer at the second control.
But this first forking on the second leg really has split up the teams after they were all running together through the arena passage and the handover.
And we see there Switzerland second team still having problems to find control A. We also see France first team not going very well there, went quite a long way down in the slope. We also see that Sweden is doing a mistake now, Gustav Bergman in the lead there.
And that's what we saw by quite a few teams in the women's relay, them just making a mistake, not going far enough to control A.
That's the risk if you leave the path there early. Of course, if you hit the control without any problems, it's fast to leave it early. But I mean, he was in the lead. He could have put in some safety there. We also see
a word for Finland too. They're looking for control A. Karpinen is looking for control A, having to go back a long way off
there.
And Bergman still hasn't found 2A.
And that's a pity for him, because he would have had the advantage now to have the fastest control A there. And he had the longest one, the one longest down in the slope at the first control. And this really gives now Norway the chance to pass Team Sweden. And I think Bergman, he has the control now together with the Czech team, with Milos Nikodem. We also have Leandersson punching control C without any bigger problems.
And Norway too, also up there, Gatan and Steva.
It's good for Gustav Bergman that he had a lead there before, because now he is together again. He just gets into the group with Lundanes.
And now they are together, three of the runners all neck and neck. This is the third control. And here they are, and Lundanes has taken the lead, but Gustav Bergman hot on his heels.
Also Milos Nikodem here, good job from Czech runner at the beginning, also good job for Usmuen. And here we have the relay world champion, Gaute Hallenstever.
So 3 Norwegian teams in the top 5.
Within 14 seconds, that's impressive. Leandersson here, 24 seconds behind.
And now these 6 have a gap.
It's quite a big gap now. It's already a minute. They are behind Olav Lundanes, the 1.3 kilometers into the second leg.
So aggressive and positive start for Lundanes, not only catching up the leaders but also losing a lot of the group as well.
This is Ruslan Glibov, the silver medalist from the long distance at the World Championships for the Ukraine. We have Jonas Ecker for Switzerland, second team, and also we have Finland, Olli Markus Taivainen, 1:37 behind. And I mean, all of them, they started together at the same time as Lundanes, but it's not that easy to follow him. And here we have the replay for the Russian team. Okay, he's disqualified as well. Also the men's first team for the Russians did exactly the same mistake as
as the women. Yeah, on the second leg.
Mironova. It was exactly the same mistake. So now and we see there, it's a mistake by Norway. The first team, Olav Lundenes, going to the wrong forking. That's the mistake we have seen Hopman doing. Now he's missing the control as well. So again, we have a chance for Sweden to get away there.
Something happening for Norway too as well. The blue.
He has to get. He was at the.
They're at the opposite one.
Yeah, they should have changed the map before. Then it would have been perfect for them. Yeah. So this forking here is really the decisive one so far in both the women's relay and also the men's relay. We have seen many runners coming to the wrong forking. And again, we have Sweden in the lead now.
So suddenly, again, advantage Sweden.
Changing a lot here. And also we have there still Milos Nykadum with the Czech team. Some meters behind, but still in contact. We see that Leandersson, he gets the control D in a good way. No problems for the Swiss second team there. Some small problems for the Ukraine, I think. Here we see the mistake. Gustav Bergman compared to Olav Lundenes for Norway. That's where Lundenes got in contact again. Got back into the lead, but now he's missing. Control D is following Bergman to the wrong forking. That's very unusual that we see Lundenes doing something like that. Then he misses the control as well, which is, I mean, he didn't have full control over the orienteering there. Now he is, let's say, 50 seconds behind.
Yep, we'll see them again at control 6. So Sweden 1, Czech Republic 1, Sweden 2, Norway 1 at the moment.
See there, France having wrong direction to control 5. We also had the second Norwegian team doing that mistake before, and we also see that the first Swiss team, Florian Hovald, is doing a mistake there to control 3.
Yeah, he'd almost caught up the Aston McLeod for GB1.
And this, I mean, this leg 5-6, that's really something Lundenes is good at. It's holding direction and run really fast through terrain, which is, you have to lift your feet quite much, and it's not, I mean, it looks very nice on the map, and it is very nice to run in. The visibility is good, but it's tough still, and he's very strong doing that.
So back then at control number 6. Should be expecting, again, Sweden 1 to be first here. Here is Gustav Bergman.
All alone. We are expecting Milos Nykadum soon to approach this control. Where is he? No, it's not Milos. It's Usman, if I saw it right, yeah. Together with Nykadum. 16 seconds behind.
So Norway 3, who we haven't been seeing on the tracking, up into silver medal position at the moment. Now another gap back, looking for the other Norwegians, and
This
also
is
Leandersson. So Sweden 2 into 4th place, 40 seconds behind.
And we're waiting for Lundenes, next one, I think, to come to the control.
See how much time he's lost on that mistake. It's going
We
to be
can
about a
hear
minute.
him now. Here he is. 59 seconds behind, so almost exactly 1 minute he lost there doing the mistake at control number 4.
So again, another gap, and I think we're still probably looking for the second Norwegian team. Now this is Glibov.
Above, so we're also waiting for Swiss second team soon. And also Finland 3 with Olli Markus Taivainen. Here we have Switzerland 2, and we have Finland there, Taivainen and Jonas Ecker.
And
Also Gaute Hallenstever. 2 minutes 18 behind. Let's see here, that's we have
mistake from Huvald.
yeah, we also have Alistair McLeod. Yeah, he lost almost 50 seconds there, let's say 40. No problems for Sweden. This forking.
So it means they'll have, I think, H on the third leg
Yes.
with William Lind. Third leg. And Gustav Bergman now into the arena for the arena passage in the lead there for Sweden 1. He was caught up by Olav Lundenes of Norway halfway around this first part of the course. But then again, a mistake, about a minute mistake from the Norwegian means it's still advantage to Sweden.
And now we're waiting for Jon Aukrust Osmoen. He was 13 seconds behind. It's more now. It's Jonas Leandersson now in second position, 33 seconds behind. We also have Milos Nikodem for the Czech Republic, 34 seconds behind, and Osmoen for Norway, 37 seconds behind.
So Jonas Leandersson with good speed, and you see Osmoen just dropping back. Lundenes catching some time there compared to Bergman. He was 59 seconds down. I mean, it's only 3 seconds. But still.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know which forking he had just before the arena passage. If he had no, we know that Bergman had the longest one there, so it's the slowest for Bergman, so it can be an advantage there.
But there's still the men have more of the course in the second half compared to the women, so there's still, you know, there's still the opportunity for people to chop and change.
I don't know, they might even see him up in the hill there. Now it's Milos Nikodem, Jonas Leandersson, and
Osmoen as well.
Yeah.
In fourth spot. So here again, they'll keep going to the track. There's a little car park up here, and then there's opportunities for some minor route choices up to the control further up the hill. Some more physical second part of the course. And Sweden this time certainly doing well on almost home soil compared to recent relays.
Yeah, but I mean, they're almost on home soil, and the Norwegians, they are on home soil, so you can't say it's an advantage for them when it comes to the terrain. Here we have Lundanes pushing hard now. I think you can see some of the runners up there, a little bit to the left.
Yeah, so you can see some of the others.
Yeah,
Just
he
make
can
it
see
easier.
Czech Republic. He can also see the second Norwegian team and Jonas Leandersson. I don't think he can see Gustav Bergman though.
No, I think Gustav's too high up on this slope, and now they head further towards the forest side of this open area. Do some rock climbing.
Steep there.
So actually in this group of three, the leads does keep changing, or the Anderson has dropped back to 4th place now.
So they are working well together, as it seems.
Well, the real test is, can they catch any ground on Bergman, and they've also got to think about Lundanes behind them. And of course, having just passed through the arena, they'll have a pretty clear idea about where they are in the field.
We see that Lundanes, he is staying more down in the slope there, trying to get out of this cotton area. The runnability is a little bit better in the forest just beside. It can be a good choice there. This is Fredrik Fortin, and I think he has the back there of could be Switzerland or Russia. I think it's Switzerland. Yes, Jonas Ecker. We also saw, I think it was Klivov. Here we have Lundanes, and now he has contact again. So it was a good choice to go to the right there and run in the forest instead of the cotton area.
And I think we've seen Gustav Bergman as well, just in the very, very back of picture. He took a more central route through there and between the two crags, and I think lost a little bit of time.
The question is if they saw him as well, or if it was just you.
But now
he's
Osmoen dropping down to this track, and I think
now
that's...
Bergman is on the route where we have seen Petrosiela on the first leg for the Czech team. He lost some time, but he was not running up the spur. Neither is Bergman. So I think they will get closer now. And of course, it's very hard to defend your lead in a situation like that when the other runners, they can see you in this open area, and they can take your back and optimize your micro route choices. That's maybe one of the most difficult parts if you want to defend your lead like this.
But I think the ones that stayed on the lower on the track will get overtaken by Lundanes here. But here's our leader.
See, it's still some seconds at least. We don't see the others yet. They might come a little bit more from the left.
So Gustav Bergman on second leg for the first team from Sweden. Still leading, but the gap will have narrowed.
There is Nicodem. And also Leandersson. And here we have Osmoen on Aukrust Osmoen. 20 seconds now.
And here's Lundenes.
At the arena it was 33 seconds, so they're closer now. And Lundenes at the arena, he was 56 seconds behind, so he is now, yeah, it's only half of the time now for him. 28 seconds he is behind.
Yeah, he's halved the time down to Gustav Bergman, so great physicality through this uphill section in the open here.
Bertux and Olli Markus Taivainen. There's Jonas Ecker, he was in this group as well.
So we've had the top 5 through to this point. Control, I think we're up to control 10.
Next to come would be Ruslan Glibov for the Ukraine. There he is. At the arena passage, he was 2 minutes and 19 seconds behind. Still about the same, I think. Maybe a little bit more now. But that's compared to Gustav Bergman. We know that Lundenes was about half a minute faster on this part, of course. And Glibov, he was 14 seconds ahead of Norwegian second team and the group with Switzerland 2 and also Finland 3 and Latvia.
Yeah, the gap's about the same, back to Katalonsteva and has Finland.
There is Olli Markus, he's missing the control a little bit.
Nah, he's got the direction.
He has seen Ecker going to the right direction. Punching there in 8th position, 2:56 behind. No, it was put in, it wasn't Olli Markus. Dux.
And here again, a different forking to see a glimpse on the GPS tracking, and we have another TV control here.
That's the control we have seen Hoopman turning back again. Here we have Gustav Bergman in the lead still. Gap was 20 seconds before.
And it's now less. Lundenes is only 7 seconds behind, with also Osmoen for Norwegian third team 9 seconds behind. We'll have Nikodin for the Czech Republic and Leandersson. So now the top 5 within 15 seconds. They've pretty much closed the gap now to Gustav Bergman, with excellent running, notably from Olaf Lundenes.
And you see it's quite a big gap there down to Ruslan Glibov, to Ukraine. We have some teams there, but there's always a little gap in between. About the same as we have seen in the women's race. Not many bigger groups, except for the group in the lead, of course.
Yeah, there's 5 of them there in that leading group. Now, with only a few more controls before they hand over on the final leg. Heading back downhill into the arena.
to see which team, which control. They're at control 12. We see that Norway has M. They have to climb up a little bit more.
I reckon Sweden and Bergman have L.
I think Czech Republic, they have M as well. It's Gustav Bergman in the lead there. Now we are back at control before, and this is Ruslan Glibov for the Ukraine into 6th position. He was 2:24 behind before.
They dropped about, I'd say, close to 15 seconds here.
Compared to Bergman, but he lost compared to Lundanes as well. Next to expect there is Gauti Allanstaver, Norway, 2nd team. But it's Fredrik Portin coming here for Finland. Portin was 2:58 behind, so he lost 8 seconds compared to Bergman. There we have Gaute.
For Norway too. Again, those three reasonably close, but not quite the same as the top 5. Gazbertex for Latvia into 9th.
Here is Jonas Ecker, Switzerland 2, into 10th.
Dropped just a couple of places there.
You see that now it's a small gap there for Sweden again. Or are they? No, they're.
Yeah, it looks like Bergman was the only one to have control L there.
Yeah.
And just managed to get ahead as a result of the different forking. But when they come to that point, this time on the 3rd leg, they'll have the same controls. No forking at that position.
So now we are waiting for Gustav Bergman and Sweden. And here he is. Let's see how big the gap is, how much faster this forking was. Backing out, maybe also to see if we can spot the other runners. No, we can't see them yet.
There we go.
It's more than 20 seconds now, so it's quite a gap again.
And the Anderson.
Yeah, Nykadum. Lundanes here. And also Usman still up there.
About 10 to 15 seconds as a result of the different forkings there. Now, more crucially, they will have dropped that distance behind. They won't be able to see him. There we go, and that's the gap in the terrain. Sweden still in the lead, Gustav Bergman, and the gap back to the 4 chasing athletes.
Even if he can hold this gap to the finish, it will be very hard for William Lind to keep it on the way to the first control, because I mean, no one's tired in the beginning. It's you have a long just running distance to the start triangle, and they will be able to just pick some 3 or 4 seconds there by seeing him and pushing very hard, and then if they see his back there in the beginning, they just can optimize the micro route choices and maybe get closer and closer. It's very tough to defend those 20-25 seconds advantage he has over the others. It's Lundanes.
I think the gap's grown a bit more, but Lundanes was pushed to the front of that group, trying to count the gap from Bergman to Lundanes. Now they just have to get down to this field and the changeover.
Great job here by Ina Krust Usnoen for Norway 3. Keeping itself in this group, which is not that easy. I mean, it's heavily forked, the whole course, so it's not that you're just running behind and trying to keep the back of the other. You also have to be active in your orienteering.
So we can tell that Gustav Bergman is on his way to the changeover now in this arena, as we see the others also make their way into the field. Here he is, the leader of the men's relay, Gustav Bergman, after his second leg. Not a clean run, but enough to still have a gap over the rest of the field. And he hands over to William Lind, yesterday's winner. Let's have a look at what the gap is. Was about, I think, 23, 24 seconds. And it's Milos Nikodin who's running, in fact, he's chasing Jonas Leandersson, Sweden 2 in second spot. Leandersson will hand over to Emil Svensk. We have Nikodin handing over to Kral, and we also have Osmoen in the third team handing over to Ingvar Skogsgaard, and Lundenez handing over to Magna Daly at the coming in on 5th place currently, and they again dropped another, I think, 10 seconds behind Gustav Bergman just on the final stretch. So Gustav Bergman's got 34 seconds in hand.
They lost 6 seconds there. But as I said, it will be difficult to just defend this lead. Of course, half a minute. It's more than 20 seconds now, but still, it's not a very easy job to do. Here we have him, William Lind, winner from yesterday. So even if he's in the group, I think he feels quite confident if it would come to a sprint finish, especially because I think the biggest rivals in a sprint finish are not in this group, I would say.
Yeah, he yesterday was just able to put himself at the front of the pack at the end when it mattered, so that he didn't have to overtake any runners on the run-in. Still looking good for Ruslan Glibov from Ukraine. Still, I think, running away from Norway 2 and Latvia. I think Tranchon has worked his way through the group as well, having a strong run.
Magna Daly. Skogstad.
So back at the arena for the changeover, and we're looking for Ruslan Glibov. He's going to hand over to Artem Panchenko on the final leg for Ukraine. He's 3 minutes behind our chasing pack.
Here we have Halland Staver and Edgar Spertux for Norway second team, and Latvia. Again, this is quite a good race so far for the Latvian team, with Rudolf Sanis on the first leg and now Edgar Spertux on the second. In 8th position, 3:36 behind the leading team from Sweden.
Yep, and Artus Paulins will do the third leg for Latvia.
At think that's well done there by William Lind, staying up high in the slope. You have to go to control B. See, they're a bit too far low, in my opinion there. Norway, Czech Republic, Sweden too. Also Norway 3. It's very good what William Lind is doing there. See also that Magnatelli is going even more to the left there. I think he will lose some seconds doing that. Let's hope for the Norwegians that he won't lose contact. Of course, I mean the others, they don't have a control A, but still this looks extreme to me. I mean you can avoid some of the climbings, but it's unnecessary to go around that much, I think.
So Wojtek Kral on Czech Republic 1 also got control B, leading that one out. Back behind Artem Panchenko for Ukraine. Heading up our second chasing group.
So no problems at all for William Lind. Well, as I said, I think Magnatelli will lose some time there. And well done also for Wojtek Kral, for the Czech team. Punching control B without any problems.
Yeah, I think the gap's about the same. It was 34 seconds at the changeover. So it doesn't seem like lost or gained too much time. Sweden 2 and Emil Svensk making control A and just sticking high. So Magnatelli for Norway 1 losing time by going lower down on the slope to reach that point. And now it is Wojtek Kral who is chasing down William Lind. They've both got control B.
Yeah, but also we know that Emil Svensk, he had control A, and this is clearly the fastest when it comes to the second control, and he's not that far behind. So there's a chance for him, for sure, to get in contact with Wojtek Kral again.
But we've seen most mistakes being made on control 2A with people just a bit too far east.
And we see also that Yngve Skogstad there is just running over the path, and it seems that his direction is a little bit strange.
The leader wrote the two different route choice options to control B, but back on to Finland 1, Alexei Niemi.
Let's see how much time Magnatelli will lose here. He was together with the group before, and if you compare him to Emil Svensk, I would say it's about 25 seconds there. We see that Yngve Skogstad, he just passed the path there and missed, and we also see that Sweden is missing the control there. William Lind, he has to go to B. He stayed on the track for a long time, too long time, and now it's suddenly Czech Republic and Wojtek Kral in the lead. And behind there we see also that the two Norwegian teams, they are together now again. So Magnatelli managed to get back in contact with the other runners, but he lost a lot of time compared to Wojtek Kral. And now I think that William Lind got the second control, but he lost about 50 seconds there. Or
I
more
think
than
more.
50
I think
seconds?
more like a minute and 10 seconds, if not, because he was about a half a minute ahead. Now he's more than half a minute
And
behind.
now he will get back into the group there with the other runners, but we see also that English Skogstad, he has to go to control B for Norwegian third team. And I mean, I don't know why he just continued to run over the path there. He's to control B. He should. I mean, you can do that to control A, but I think to control B, it would have been smart to run on the path. Not as long as William Lind was doing though. Here we have Wojtek Kral, the leader now for the Czech Republic.
And finally, we have a new leader on this men's relay. And Wojtek Kral, with a good route into control 2B, has got a gap on William Lind, who knows now he's made a mistake, just looking around to find the control. Let's see what the gap was. He did have a lead of about half a minute, if not more. And now the gap's back again to 26 seconds.
Here we have Sweden, 2, Emil Svensk and Magne Dali, 26 and 31 seconds behind Wojtek Kral. And let's see, now we wait for William Lind.
There he is.
And, he turned his head, I think he saw the other runners exiting the control, 52 seconds behind.
So nearly a minute and a half, I think, time lost on that mistake. Just kept running.
Yeah, now it's tough. He has to chase all by himself there. The two runners in front of him, Emil Svensk and Magne Dali. But still, I mean, the Swedish team, they have two teams up there fighting for the victory.
And that was the mistake.
And we see also Yngve Skogstad, he continues to be a little bit shaky there in his technique. I mean, for sure it's the first time he is in this situation. I'm not sure if he expected to be in the lead after, if you're running for the third team and be in the lead after 3 or 2 legs. So that's very good job from the third team still. Here he is.
Now Yngve Skogstad is over a minute behind William Lind, and when you just lose the
and we see
the
that
trail,
he lost his self-confidence now. Wrong direction there again. Now he's getting closer to the control. Might have seen the camera. Oh, not happy there. Don't need to translate that. Now we're in this area where we have a lot of forkings. We see that it was very shaky, the entrance there for Wojtek Kral, but he got to the right control. But now it's Norway, Magne Dali again in the lead. A lot of changes here, and we also see that Sweden 2 got the right control, and it's only William Lind having control D. But it didn't really matter because he didn't see the others when he was getting to.
now Emil Svensk for Sweden 2 also went to control D and then E.
And it feels that there's a chance for William Lind to maybe get closer again. I mean, it was Wojtek Kral before in the lead. He lost for sure some seconds here, since it's Magne Dali in the lead now. And he might, with a little bit luck, he might see the others when he is exiting the control here, and then he knows that he is back in the leading group.
So all change again at the lead of this relay, with Magne Dali now for Norway 1 in pole position.
You also see a mistake there. France, they have to go to control B. He's at control A, and he has not really control over the situation. I mean, it's very easy to mistake it. You have a stone there just before the control, which you also have when you go to control B. So you feel pretty safe when you come down there.
That's the parallel error, and Hannu Eerila from Finland 3 is also
You get
there.
some help there. Vaso Kupa. And I think very soon we will have 4 teams in the lead together again. No problem here for third Norwegian team. Good for his self-confidence. See there, Dush Paulins has to go to control D. It's a little bit off direction there. Seems that he is following. Is it Ukraine? Maybe.
Yeah, Ukraine have E.
Finland.
And back at the front of the race, Sweden won, and William Lind now in that group of the top 4. Norway won, Czech Republic won, Sweden won, and Sweden 2.
See that there. Some mistake going on. Control E. Let's see, I don't really see which team it is. Could be Norway 2, second team. But he might have punched the 4th control, otherwise he's quite off direction. But he's
Or
might
it's
be that
just
his
the
GPS is a little bit
Yeah,
wrong
Latvia
there.
also making a
Yeah,
mistake now,
they are making a
realizing
mistake.
it. So the next point we'll see them is control 6. And here is Magna Daly, I think, for Norway 1.
Where are the others? There.
Wojtek
Kral and also Emil Svensk. Don't see William Lind yet.
Looked like he was with the group, but there
We
he
have
is.
him. 17 seconds behind.
So I was caught up from the mistake that he made earlier on in the course.
It'll be interesting to see now the next control, which is a forking. Here we have a replay with Kibbutz, Kupa and Niemi. And we don't see a lot of Kibbutz GPS here. There's a Polish team, there is Austria, Robert Mell, there's Kibbutz, Ralph Street for Great Britain. Not a good day for the Swiss first team here, more than 8 minutes behind. And now they get into this area where we have 3 different controls. We have Norway, Chi, that's the slowest one. We know that from before. We have Sweden, H. We have Sweden 2 with Chi as well. Do we know what the Czech Republic, which control they have? No, if they have I, it would be the fastest one. We don't know it yet. he's continuing to another control there. So they will, I think they will stick together also after this control. That's the control before the Skogstad. Now he's getting into the race. It's the same gap as it was at the first TV control. 2:34, I think it was there.
Here they are for the arena passage, and it is Norway leading. Emil Svensk there.
That's only those two guys. Let's see, there's a gap down to William Lind. He's pushing really hard now.
And
Getting contact again.
Vucek Kral is in fourth, so these four still very close together, but with Norway and Sweden 2, Magnadale and Emil Svensk, they are 10 seconds ahead of Lind and Kral as they go through the arena for the last time before the finish. Now they have to head once more back out into the terrain. They will go through the open area one more time, and this is where we saw a lot of gaps actually narrowing. So 10 seconds is the gap at the moment. Magnadale leading out Emil Svensk here with William Lind and Vucek Kral for Sweden 1 and the Czech Republic on the chase. And at this point from here, they've all got the same controls. There are no more forkings left. So now it gets to something a little bit more like our chasing start, our pursuit race yesterday, which was won by William Lind.
Yeah, that's no one from the leading group there for Russia. Now it's kind of brutal. They see the other runners there in front of them, and it's quite a heavy uphill coming. And it looks that Williams Lind is really strong also today physically. I'm very eager to close the gap as soon as possible. Behind there we see that Skogstad now punched control H.
And now you can see they just split up. William Lind going off the track a little bit earlier. Emil Svensk chasing Magnadale. Both of them going to stick to each other like glue on this way around. Here's the third Norwegian team, Skogstad.
Punching into fifth position, 2:42 behind. So still is going pretty well. It's a pity that he missed in the beginning, because obviously he has the speed to follow the others, or he would have the speed to follow the others. And it seems that Vucek Kral is losing contact to the group now. But where's William Lind?
He took a route further to the right, I think we could see on camera.
This is Paul Sirom for the second Norwegian team, 3 minutes and 22 behind.
So all three Norwegian teams there in the top 6. And this is where we can see what's happened to William Lind, taking a different route choice there. Just wait until his GPS
We
catches
have
up.
seen Olav Lundenes doing exactly the same on the second leg, and it proved to be good. Let's see if it's gonna pay off for William Lind. It's kind of a risk to leave the group like this, even if he was some meters behind. But he must feel very confident doing it, and I mean, for sure we've seen it's quite a good option to do that. And I think there's a chance that he can at least get in contact with the group now again.
And then most of the teams have gone the way of Norway and Sweden too, have then dropped further down to the forest there. It'll be interesting to see if they stay longer in the open area. And that's pretty much what we saw William Lind doing, is cutting off the track at that particular point and heading close to the forest.
Yeah, it's good. As we see here, there's this track. It's actually not mapped, but you can see it in the terrain. And it's good to stay on this one for a while.
Artem Panchenko for Ukraine.
In between there, we also had Arturs Paulins for Latvia, 6 minutes behind. Panchenko 6 minutes and 13 seconds behind into 8th position.
The Palins has overtaken the Ukrainian.
The Ukraine, yeah, that's Panchenko. Missed there. Yeah. Missed control I. Got to H first, then down to Chi almost. That's a big mistake.
Yeah, and that's why the Latvian can just overtake him there. Here's William Lind chasing. And in fact, there we go. He was
So
first.
he was faster, going more to the right, as we have seen Lundenes doing on the second leg. And so now it's Sweden back on top again. 12 seconds ahead of Norway, Magne Dali, and 13 seconds ahead of Svensk. And it's that feeling I got already in the climbing. It seems that Wojtek Kral is not really having the day to be able to follow them physically. 27 seconds behind, and I mean, the other three are almost together, and he is alone chasing now. That's really tough, and we know that it's unforked from this point of the competition. Well, it's tough. I doubt that he can come back in contact, but we will see.
I mean, it's the same for all of them, but they have done 4 races in 3 days.
Yeah, of course. It's a tough program, but as you say, it was the same for Dali, Lind, Kral, and Svensk. So yeah,
It's who can deal with that the best. Well, the lead is being held by William Lind after a good route choice over to control number 9, staying north of the line or close to the line, as we can see Pal Serum doing there for Norway 2. And Magne Daly going a little bit off the line. This is what happened on this leg here. That
we see that Lind is leaving the group in the beginning of the climb, heading to this forest part there, where the runnability is better. There's not as much wood on the ground as it is in the Caton area, and then he can use this spur there to take an easy way to the control. And it paid off, because he was some seconds behind at, when you see that, there the start triangle. It was, I think it was, I would guess, like 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's a small risk that we like to see. And then Magna Daly just went off the straight line and has lost the pace of Emil Svensk there, and further back with Kral.
Kral is not giving up yet. Of course not. And now we see also that the pace is getting a little bit lower when he just before the control. So there's a possibility again for the teams behind to catch some seconds compared to William Lind. I think we can see him there.
Yep.
No, we saw that was actually Wojtek Kral we saw there, but here we have William Lind and the two Swedish teams now in the lead.
They bunched the same the control that we've seen earlier on in this men's race, and only a second between William Lind and Emil Svensk. Magna Daly here too, and Wojtek Kral I think still dropping behind. "17 seconds is the gap back to the first team for the Czech Republic.
So he was actually able to catch 10 seconds there. Control 9 to control 11.
And now we can see Emil Svensk in the blue dot there, taking different routes. Seems to be dropping back. He was right on the heels of William Lind for Sweden 1 at control 11, where we just had our TV control.
See that he lost some seconds doing that. Now he's together with Magna Daly. Very strong performance here physically by William Lind. He can keep his 10 seconds, even though the others can see him.
Now no forking on this 12th control like we saw earlier on in men's relay. The same controls for everybody on this second part of the race. Let's have a look what happened.
Daly is losing some time there. Just going a little bit more down the slope. But not very much. And now soon we can see that Svensk is going to choose to run a little bit more in the marsh when exiting control 11 compared to William Lind, and I think that's where he loses some of the seconds. Now here he's heading more to the right, and it seems as if they are together again now. Will be a tough race when after exiting control 14 down to this open field, will be more or less just running and fighting through the green area there. Still, Wojtek Kral is there. Only some seconds behind. He's getting closer and closer again.
Yep, mostly downhill from here though.
We'll see. I mean, if the runners in front start to play some tactical games, no one wants to take the lead, takes, for example, to the 14th control because you want to be ready when you have to exit the control and like have mostly control over how to get yourself to the last control, and that can open up again for the Czech team there. This is Yngve Skogstad. We lost some time. It was 2 minutes and 40 if I remember right, and now it's 3:25. Still quite good. I mean, he's all alone there. And back there we see Paul Zero. It's quite high up in the slope there, coming down to the control now.
So at the 6 kilometre mark, control 13.
That's a second leg runner.
Polish.
Soon we expect them to be here. Let's see.
Yep.
That's Magne Daly. So now he's in the lead. Where are the other teams? This can be decisive now. If the gap is more than... I mean, they have to come very soon, otherwise... Here they come. They did a mistake here to this control, I think.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be up there. 13 seconds, William Lind. 16 seconds, Emil Svensk. And I mean, this second last control, of course, it's orienteering, but it's not the most difficult control of the course. So there's, of course, there is a chance for Magne Daly to decide the race already before the last control. But let's see. I mean, if the others have contact and can see him, then there's chance also to close the gap. This is what they crawl, and now I think he is definitely out of the race, out of the game for the gold medal here, for the victory.
Yeah, well, for the medals in general. So they've just got to get to control 14. Here now we can see that lead from Magne Daly.
But I mean, William Lind's GPS stopped there, so we don't really know much behind his. Can be just some seconds.
Yeah, it's very
not
close.
Not very much. It's still a chance there. Here we have William Lind. We didn't see Magne Daly. Is he first here? Wouldn't bet. Don't really know. Let's see. Did he do a mistake? This is control 13. That's now we see why we have Magne Daly in the lead suddenly at control number 13. They are running up the hill there. Magne Daly very, very well, not following the others.
So we lost our running cam in the forest, which is, we just see there.
We are one cameraman down
there we
now.
Go.
This is Emil Svensk, but we don't know who is in the lead there. We will have to wait until they come out to the open area, just before the last control. And here is Magne Daly.
Magne Daly for Norway, leading William Lind from Sweden. And on the final race of this World Cup rounds, can the Norwegians put an upset on the Swedish clean sweep of medals? It is Magne Daly who's on the run-in and looking very, very good on this final stage, running with Esker Tinneberg and Olaf Lundenes. And it is Norway in the pole position, being chased by William Lind, winner of yesterday. And Magne Daly knows he has done enough now to take another relay title for Norway. And the Norwegian men just so dominant in this relay, and just it was all about that control
13.
3 from the end, 13, control 13.
And it needed 6 races to destroy the total dominance of the Swedish team here. And I'm very, very sure this was a lot of prestige here for Magne Daly to take this victory ahead of Sweden and not let them win 6 out of 6. But very, very impressive by Magne Daly, not following the others to control 13 when they did the mistake. I mean, he was in a situation where he was not in control over the situation. He was behind, or he had control over the situation, but the others had a gap, and he had to. I mean, there would have been a possibility to just follow and hope for the best on the last control, but he kept on reading the map, and he had control over the situation even though the others didn't. So that's very impressive. If you're so close to the finish and you have to get yourself into a good position, and then you're cool in your head and able to do that.
Absolutely, and in 3 seconds was the difference in total, as you see Wojciech Kral crossing the line for 4th spot there, running with Jan Petrozela and Milos Nikodim. This is what you were just talking about there with, we could see Lind was in the lead.
I mean, you see, it's about, let's say, 8, 9, 10, at this moment here, it's about 10 seconds, and there's a risk that you just follow and you try to close the gap and don't really read the map, but he's not doing that. He has full control over the orienteering, and I mean, you see exactly what Wojtek Kral was doing there. He knew that he has to take himself into the position and just close the gap, so he was following, but he would have had a chance if he had done exactly the same as Magni. Maybe not for the victory, but for the top 3.
And William Lind was so strong, nearly caught up Magni going through the terrain down into this field, but the Norwegians once again winning a relay title.
Yeah. I mean, we're not surprised anymore. They're so strong running the relays. At the moment, they're almost unbeatable. I mean, if we remember the World Championships, Olav Lundenes is missing. They can take in Gauti Allen Staver, and still they win the competition. Well, at the moment, they are just the best relay team in the men's class.
Absolutely, and to think when the 5 of them went out on the last leg, and we saw Magni kind of at the back of that group, I think really playing the long game there. You know, he was overall on that 3rd leg.
I mean, I'm not sure if he always really believed that he would have a chance for the victory. It have happened several times that he lost some seconds, and then he was up again, and then there was a gap again, so he must have felt that William Lind and also Emil Svensk, they have a good day physically, but still he was there, he did his job, and he took home the victory for Norway.
A word for Lundenes on 2nd leg, who caught up so much time at the beginning and was in the lead very, very briefly.
Yeah, but that's also part of the tactic they have. I mean, that's why they have Lundenes on the 2nd leg, in case anything happens, or to the 1st leg runner, they have Lundenes. You know that he will perform well if the gap is not too big, and that's exactly what he did, and he showed us again today that he is one of the best, if not the best, male orienteer at the moment.
Well, it's not, you can't only just talk about the 1st Norwegian team as being a great relay runners. Look at that, we've got the top 3 Norwegian teams, the 3 Norwegian teams in the top 6.
And I mean, if you just take this guy here, Yngve Skogstad, it's kind of a pity that he missed the start of the race, that he had problems on the first 3 controls, because obviously he had the speed. I mean, from control 3 he only loses 2 minutes, and he's all alone on the whole course. So he has the speed, and he has a good technique to perform very well in a relay like this. And it's kind of a pity that he wasn't able to build up the self-confidence and maybe stay in the group a little bit longer, because I'm sure he could have done a great job later on in this group. And but yeah, 3 teams, top 6, that's really good.
Yeah, and the 3rd team were ahead of the 2nd team for almost all of that relay. I think he was a bit disappointed to just get overtaken by his teammate in the final stages there. But here we've also got some of the chasers, with Alexei Niemi for Finland 1 over making his way to control 14. A bigger group here.
Also have a fight there between 2 kibbutz brothers. I think at the moment it's an advantage for Andreas, 2nd team. Approximately 1 minute ahead of younger brother Matthias.
But Matthias has caught, I think, time on his older brother.
Yeah, but he won't care about that as long as he's in the finish first.
Yeah, not a good day for Swiss orienteering today.
No, not the best day. See there now a mistake. The Latvian team. There's another team there as well. I think it's Finland, the third team. Hannu Airila.
The teams we are waiting for: Finland 1, Finland 3, Latvia, Switzerland 2 and Ukraine. 40 seconds behind them, Switzerland 1, Matthias Geburts. And then Austria, Poland, Great Britain and Czech Republic 2 has also passed the third last control.
Yeah, the Latvian, which is Palin's, realising he's too low, having to climb, and then we'll see the others on his way out. I think we've got, yes, a second team in there, and Ukraine.
So the next team to the finish will be Finland, first team, Aleksi Niemi. Here he is.
First team from Finland to finish, be about 8 minutes down on our winners today.
And Aleksi Niemi, he did a good job here for the Finnish team. He started in 12th position this last leg. 6 minutes and 38 seconds behind, and now see that he lost about 1.5 minutes and worked his way up to a 7th position for the first team for Finland. Here we have Andreas Geburts for the second Swiss team, just ahead of the Ukraine.
Andreas Geburts catching up from, I think, 11th to 8th there on the last leg.
Exactly. Lost about 3 minutes compared to the fastest runners, or the leading group at least. And there's the younger brother trying to catch Team Finland, Hannu Airila. This will be a tight one. He's good in sprinting.
See, our arena speaker says Finland takes it. Close on the line, Hannu Airila and Matthias Geburts down there as joint 10th. These are the final results. Top 10 teams finished so far, and Norway with that 3-second victory to deprive Sweden of a clean sweep of the gold medals here today. Sweden 2 putting in a good performance for third spot, 24 seconds down, and then a minute later we had the Czech Republic. Norway 2 and 3, over 4 minutes down on the first team from Norway, and then we had Finland 1, 8 minutes down with a little battle from Switzerland 2, Ukraine, and then Finland 3 and 2, 10th spot with Switzerland 1, also 10th. So we'll have the flower ceremony for the 3 women's teams.
We will have the flower ceremony for the ladies relay, and the flowers will be awarded by Mr. Geir Årbu, Mayor of the community of Aremark. And actually, Årbu in third place, Team Finland.
So in third place, it was the team from Finland. Finland won, Antonin, Lotta Kohula and Henrika Heikkinen. big gaps between all the three teams by the end of the relay, all of them in a secure place. And in second place, picking up the silver medalists, it is the team from Norway, Silje Kuljaren, Marianne Andersen and Camilla Olausen.
There's not very much space on the podium.
But to top the podium, pretty much leading the whole way round and taking their 5th gold of this World Cup round, it is the team from Sweden, Lina Strand, Caroline Olsen and Tova Alexandersson. Going one place better than their finish at the World Championships in Latvia only 3 weeks ago. Those are the top 3. Finland in 3rd, Norway in 2nd, and Sweden taking the top spot. We'll also soon be able to bring you the flowers ceremony for the men's relay. See them taking to the stage. So it'll be a blue, red, blue sandwich. And in 3rd place, it was the Swedish 2nd team, Martin Ögborn, Jonas Leandersson and Emil Svensk. And we now move on to 2nd place and silver medalists. It is the first team from Sweden. Sweden won, Albin Riederfeldt, Gustav Bergman and William Lind. It was a race that saw more leaders than the women's, getting exciting in the 2nd and 3rd legs with no teams really having a clean run. But, well, on Norwegian soil, taking another relay title. It is the team from Norway, Eskil Kinneberg, Olaf Lundenes and Magne Daly. And it was that key piece of focus on the orienteering at Control 13 that allowed Magne Daly to just get ahead of the 2 runners from Sweden and was able to maintain that lead here in the arena to cross the finish line first. So the top 3 on today's men's relay: Norway, Sweden and Sweden. Norway finally putting an end to the Swedish dominance over the 3 races this weekend, which saw 5 gold medals awarded to Sweden and 1 to Norway. So we'll leave you with some pictures from today's men's relay, and we will be back in about a month's time when the World Cup final will be held in the Czech Republic. We've got sprint relays, sprint knockout competition and a middle distance
will be number 19 to the finish. The next team should be Estonia. Oh, Mr. 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Ai niin leiman tarkastus.
2, 1, go!
Orientering hela vägen, kör nu! Kör bara inne! Perfekt det! Tack så mycket, Mr. Odin, för hoppet.